Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to integrate a camera to take photos and display that photo inside our Godot app or Godot game. So let's see how to do this. Now to create an iOS plugin, firstly you would require a MacBook. So yeah, that's the first requirement. The other requirement is you will need to install Python, so make sure you have Python inside your MacBook. And you also need to install Xcode, so you can download Xcode from Apple App Store. Then there is something called scones. To install scones, firstly you will need to install Homebrew. I am assuming most of you know how to install Homebrew. If not, just do a Google search. Once you have Homebrew installed, you can just run brew install scones. So this will install scones for us. So scones is basically needed to generate iOS headers for the Godot source code. Now the next thing which we will have to do is, so this the work folder which I have is a practice project of mine. So before creating this actual tutorial, I needed to check whether this integration is working or not. So ignore this work folder, but I will be using this work folder to copy paste a lot of code. So what you can do is, inside your workspace, it can be anything, just create a folder, whatever you feel like. I'll just name it as my workspace. Choose your own naming conventions. Then inside your folder which you have created, create a folder called plugin. Now follow what I'm doing. Okay, and the first thing which you have to do is, you will have to clone the Godot source code from GitHub. Now at the time of me recording this video, I am using Godot 4.3.0, but I think by the time you watch it, either Godot 4.3.1 or 4.3.2 might be already out. So what you will have to do is, you will have to open your terminal, you will have to cd to this plugin directory, and then you will have to run this particular command inside your plugin folder. So this will download the Godot source code. Sorry guys, a quick edit from my side is, given that I am using Godot 4.3.0, while cloning the GitHub project of Godot, while cloning the Godot project from GitHub, I had to use 4.3. so this depends on what version of Godot you are using. You might see this 4.2 because sorry, I forgot to update my cheat sheet, but make sure this version should be whatever version of Godot you are using, so clone accordingly. Yeah, thank you. Let's move on. Like I told you, I already have it from my practice project, so I'll just copy paste it because the cloning part takes a lot of time. Once the cloning part is done on your side, what you will have to do is, you will have to again inside your terminal cd to this Godot folder which is created, and then you will have to run this particular command, scones platform iOS target template underscore debug dash j4. I think for release it would be template underscore release if you are trying to release, make a release mode of your app. But here, instead of -j4, you can also use -j8 to make this process more quicker. So this running this particular command will generate iOS headers for you in the Godot folder itself, but it takes a lot of time. That's why I'm using -j8. If you, I mean, this 8 refers to threads or something like that. I don't really know all this stuff, but if -j8 is giving you some errors, just use -j4. That is also fine. It's just that it will take a lot of time, maybe an hour, and your system also might heat up a little. So yeah, don't do anything else, just be patient. Again, I have already ran this particular command in the Godot folder which I have copied, so I don't need to run this command again. Then what I have to do is, I will just have to open Xcode, click on create a new project, select iOS. Inside the select static library, click next. Here you will have to give some product name. Now I will give some very bad name. The reason is that I mean, no reason as such, like I'm not naming it as camera, because if there is some module inside the iOS inside the iOS system which is named camera, then it might cause conflict. That's why I'll just name it as take photo. Name it whatever you feel like. Then choose the language as Objective-C, click next, and oh sorry, I think I named it wrong. Should be take photo. You can name again whatever you feel like. Click next, and then just go to the folder where your folder is. So this is my folder, right? I'll just click on create over here. so this will create some folders for me. Now the first thing which I will tell you is go to this take photo, and here is the deployment target. I will keep it as 16. You can even go lower than this, but I think 16 is fine for me. But do remember this number, because we will be making use of this number in some place else as well. If you want 14, 13, whatever works for your game or app, choose that particular number. Okay, so as you can see, we have this header file as well as this objective-c file. So what I'll do is that I'll quickly open my practice project, because we need to copy paste some code. I'll explain you that code, don't worry about it. So first we need this, we also need this, we also need this, we need this, and we need this as well. Okay, so I'll just quickly open all this. So firstly we have to create this underscore module file. So whatever is the name of your library, just create an underscore module file. I'll just right click and I'll create an objective-c file. I'll name it as take photo underscore module. Click next, click create. Then I will just right click new file. I will create an header file as well. Take photo, I'll click on create. Okay, sorry, one more thing which I forgot to tell you guys is most of you might be wondering why I'm trying to create an iOS plugin for camera. We already have one iOS plugin for this. So if you go to plugins, here you can see inside camera we have this plugin. But the problem with this plugin is that it uses the Godot's camera server to handle the iOS device camera feed. There are some limitations, like I'm not an expert in Godot's camera server node. So from what I have understood is there are limitations on what this camera server can handle. But in my case, what I am doing is that I am displaying the actual camera of the AV Foundation API of iOS inside my iOS plugin tutorial. So that's the difference which you have to remember. But the disadvantage, I think according to me in my tutorial, is that the camera which I will show you will open in a new screen. So once I click on a button, then it will open in a then it will open the camera screen. You can't really embed the camera screen inside an existing Godot screen, because at least at the time of me recording this video, there is no way to embed a native iOS view inside a Godot screen. I think that's the disadvantage of me not using this particular plugin. So choose whatever makes sense to you. I think at least for me, I haven't seen an app where a camera is opened as soon as the app is opened. So hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. Typically usually a user will perform some action, then only the camera will open, right? So I think like from what I understood, my plugin would be fine for most of the cases. But in case if your requirement is different, choose this. Also, one more thing which I want to mention in case if I forgot later, I have copied thanks to this photo picker library, I have copied a lot of code from this plugin as well. So yeah, just wanted to give you a heads up as well. I will tell you later on what code I have copied from this photo picker library as well, even though I'm not really directly using the photo picker thing. Okay, anyways, let's get back to our code. So here is my take photo module file, right? So I'll just copy paste this code. Now while doing practice, the name of the library which I created was named arithmetic, really bad name. So yeah, all we have to do is just replace arithmetic with take photo or whatever library name you have given. So I'll quickly replace those. Do remember one thing, that for this header file, these are boilerplate code, so even I don't understand it. Like even you don't have to understand it. This is just boilerplate code. So yeah, just go with it. So yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so this is fine. Next is the objective-c++ file. So what you will have to do, change the extension to .mm. So it is objective-c++. Same for this as well, change the extension to .mm. Then I'll just copy paste this code again. Again, this is like boilerplate code, don't worry, like even I don't understand all this stuff. So I'll just copy this, and here instead of arithmetic, I'll just name it as take photo. Over here T should be capital. Okay, and over here as well, over here I'll quickly copy this over here, then I'll copy this, I'll paste it over here, as well as over here. Okay, so this seems fine. Again, like one more thing which I want to clarify, that I got few comments regarding this, like most people are confused because of these errors. These are not really errors, like the Godot source code does not play nicely with Xcode, that's why we get these errors, but ignore these errors for now. Even if you get these errors, it's fine. Yeah, so yeah, let's proceed ahead. Don't worry too much about these errors. Okay, so then we have to go to this header file. I'll copy this header file source code and I'll explain it to you. So we have to go to this header file. I'll copy and paste it over here. So firstly, again, there is few boilerplate code for this as well, so I'll just name it as take photo, and over here as well. Okay, one important thing is that for this image part, given that image is a complex type and we need to send that image reference back to Godot side once the image is captured from our native iOS plugin, we have to also import this io image.h. Now here where the photo picker plugin helped me, otherwise I couldn't have figured it out this by myself. Okay, and here we have imported UI kit and photos. This second view controller we will create shortly. The photos is a built-in iOS API to save the captured photo inside the Photos app. Again, here I will just change the name to take photo. Okay, over here, then over here. Okay, I think this so this is the method name, right? So I'll just change this name because the plugin name clashes with this. I don't want to cause any errors, so I will just change the method name to capture photo, and here I'll name it as take photo. This is fine. Take photo, this is fine. Okay, so this looks okay to me. So basically what we are doing, the important thing which you have to understand is these are all the imports, and here we are defining a method called capture photo which we have to write the implementation for. So again, I'll go to this implementation block and I'll just copy paste this code. I'll go over here and I'll paste it over here. Okay, now again we'll have to replace everywhere arithmetic with take photo. Over here as well, T should be capital. Over here, then this is just a constructor kind of thing, and this is the destructor kind of thing. Okay, again this is boilerplate code, don't worry too much about it. I will tell you where exactly is the new code. So here, take photo. So this is a signal which will help us to send this particular image data back to Godot side. Okay, so this signal name is important. We'll have to use the same signal name on Godot side as well. Also, if you remember, the name of our method is capture photo, so I will have to change it over here as well as over here. Again, I'll copy this and I'll change it over here as take photo. Okay, sorry, this should also be capture photo. Here I'll take photo. So now coming back to this implementation, so basically we want to launch a new view controller which will display the camera to the user. A view controller is basically a new screen. So to launch a new screen in iOS, you require the root view controller. To get hold of the root view controller, this is all the code for it. Okay, again I have not created this second view controller, that's why it is giving me an error. I'll create those files shortly, but here we are basically launching the second view controller. Okay, and ignore this ns log, this is incorrect. Okay, and ignore this as well. So here once you launch it, the second view controller, and once you capture the photo from the second view controller, it sends the captured photos. The captured photo is also saved to the Photos app, and then it will save the identifier of the photo which has been saved in the Photos app back over here. Okay, so the result is that particular local identifier. Then with the help of the photos API, we get the actual image. So here you can see I get the actual image in form of UI image. Now the problem is Godot does not understand UI image. It requires image in some different format. Now this entire piece of code which you see, I have just copied it from this particular photo picker plugin. Okay, so I won't go into those details. I don't really understand it. If you want, you can just go to the photo picker plugin and copy paste that particular code. So I'll simply scroll through this. You can pause the video wherever you feel like. Yeah. So this is what it does. Again, I don't have any knowledge about this. Okay, so basically once we get the proper image format which Godot's understand, then we just send it back to Godot side. That's what I understood. Rest everything I have just copy pasted it from that particular source code. And here we are just launching our second view controller. Okay, and then just doing a break function. So this is the URL from which I have just copy pasted all the code. So if you go over here, photopicker.mm, yeah, you can just check the code, and from that you can just copy paste all the code. Okay, so I'll again scroll through this in case if you missed out. I don't know anything about this. Then what we have to do is we have to create a header as well as an Objective-C file for our second view controller. Again, you can name it something better, but I think at least if you're trying to do it for the very first time, better you follow what I have done. So just right click, new file, header file, second view controller, click create, and then I'll also create an Objective-C file. Click next, click create, next, click create. Okay, so here is our header file. Again, I'll copy paste the code. Paste it over here. So basically we are importing UI kit. For camera we require AV foundation, and for saving the photo we require the photos API. This is the callback which is required for our take photo Objective-C class. And here we are extending some delegate methods, and this is like preview view is for the camera. I'm not really sure what the box view is for. The capture button is for capturing the photo. Now this is like boilerplate code, even which I don't understand, for displaying a camera preview inside your iOS app. So yeah, sorry about this. And this is our completion handler, and this is the local identifier of the saved photo in the Photos app once we captured it. Okay, then I'll just copy paste this code and I'll paste it over here. So again, we are firstly importing our header file, then I have created the interface as well as the implementation. Here we are initializing our preview view and occupying the entire width and height. This is our capture button. I'm not really sure why this box view is for. Then I'm doing some NS layout constraints for our capture button. I've also attached one click listener to it, and on click of it we basically capture the photo. Okay, and once you capture the photo, it comes over here. So we are overriding this particular method, and here we are first checking whether we have the proper permission or not. If yes, directly save the photo and stop the camera. If you don't want to stop the camera, you can comment this out. Same over here as well. But if you don't have the permission for the Photos app, we first ask for permission. Only once the permission is guaranteed given, then only I save it to Photos app. Here I'm not doing proper error handling that you can manage by yourself. Then here this is the code for saving photos to the Photos app. So again, I have just copy pasted this code from the documentation. Yeah, you can do the same. Then here is how we set up the AV capture. So this is for our camera. Again, I am not really good at this. I have just copy pasted all this code, so I'll simply scroll through this. And this is for stopping our camera. So yeah, that's it on the code wise. Okay, let me quickly check if I have left any instance of arithmetic in my code, because I have copy pasted a lot of things. Okay, so no instance. All right, let's see what is the next step. So I'll just close other files. So we are done with this, done. Okay, then yeah, we'll have to go to this, go to build settings. No, we have to select this, go to build settings. Here you have to search for header search path. So here, then open your plugin folder, go to the Godot folder, go to platform, iOS, right click on any of this file because we want the path. So I'll just click on get info. I'll just copy this particular path and I will paste it over here. Click plus, paste it over here. Okay, so this is done as well. Then we just have to click close Xcode. So I'll just write quit Xcode. Okay, then what we have to do is I will go to our take photo. Okay, I will move this one folder before and click on this take photo, copy, or I will just do Ctrl A and again move this one folder before. So you will have this empty take photo folder which you have to delete. Again, I don't know why we have to do this, but we have to do this, otherwise things won't work for us. Okay, so alright, then we have to create an .gdip file. So I already have a .gdip file created. So you can use VS Code or you're under some text editor to create a .gdip file and paste it inside the plugin folder. Okay, one more thing, I did a mistake. This take photo as well as this Xcode pros should be inside the plugin folder. Yeah, sorry about this. So what I'll do is that I'll just take this and paste it inside my plugin folder. So yeah, now this looks fine. Now I will just open the firstly I'll have to name again, it should be take photo .gdip file. I'll open it. Again we'll have to just rename this. I'll just name it as take photo. I'll copy it, I'll paste it over here. I'll change the name to T. Okay, I'll copy this. Again here I'll have to change take photo. Here also I'll have to change take photo. Then here we don't require quick look framework. Instead, what are the framework we require? AV Foundation, I guess. I'll quickly open that those files. I think it is in second view controller. Okay, so what all files I require? I need the photos framework, so I'll just paste it over here. I already have UIKit as well as I require the AV Foundation framework, which I will paste it over. Now here is a plist telling us to add the camera permission. From what I have noticed is that it doesn't really work even though I add it inside this file. So I will, when I export my project, I will add the camera permission to that. Also there is another thing which I noticed is that when I export from Godot to an Xcode project or an iOS project, it already has that camera permission. Sometimes it might not have, depending on the Godot version. I'll tell you that later on. I don't want to confuse everyone. So okay, our .gdip file is done. Then we have to create an sconstruct file. Now this file is really huge. I have already created a gist over here, so you can go to this particular URL and copy that sconstruct file. But we have to make few changes. So I already have that sconstruct file and I'll just paste it inside the plugin folder. Okay, all right, I'll just open this. Firstly, search for arithmetic. We have to name it take photo, so I'll just rename that. Then over here as well take photo, here as well take photo, and here as well take photo. Now if you remember, I told you to remember the minimum iOS deployment target version, right? So go over here, make sure it is the same to what you have set inside Xcode. So for me it is same 16, 16, 16 and 16. Alright, so as construct part is also done. Ignore all this, like these are just related to the build system, I guess. Then we have to create a bin folder. So I'll just quickly create a folder called bin. I will open my terminal and I will have to cd to that plugin folder which I have. I'll just paste it over here. I'll just clear everything out. So I'm inside the plugin folder and I'll have to run this particular command. Okay, but again we'll have to replace arithmetic with take photo. So I'll quickly change arithmetic with take photo. I'll click enter. Now what it basically does is, in the bin folder it will create a .a file for us, which is important for Godot. So in the meantime what I'll do is open Godot, create a new project. I'll just name it as my Godot project. Now create this outside the bin folder. I'll go to desktop, samples, Godot, trials. This is my workspace, right? I'll create it outside the bin folder, and yeah, again I'm using Godot 4.3.0. okay guys, so as you can see, after running the command I did not get any error, but if you get any error, do cross check the code with the code which I have written. Also in the bin folder I am able to see the .a file. So this is our Godot project. So the first thing which you have to do is go to project, export, add iOS, click on this fix import. Here you will have to enter your app store team ID. I will enter mine later on, but make sure you enter it. If you don't know how to get the app store team ID, you can go to this particular URL and it will guide you how to get your app store team ID. Then inside iOS, okay, inside our project, I'll click on close for now. Just create a new folder called iOS, okay, and create iOS. Then we have to create a folder called plugins with an S. Just right click, new folder, plugins, okay. Then we have to copy the .gdip file and .a file. So what I'll do is I'll copy this .a file to my Godot project. So this is my Godot project, iOS plugins. I'll paste it over here, but you will have to change the name to take photo or whatever is the name of your library. So I've changed the name. We also have to copy the .gdip file, so I'll copy it. I'll go to iOS plugins and I'll paste it over here, okay. So I have done that. Then just go to project, export, iOS, enter your bundle identifier. It should be typically like com.your company name.your app name. I'll keep it simple, my Godot game, as this is a not real project. Also if I scroll down here inside plugins, you should see your plugin. If not, then you have made some mistakes. So I'll just check this plugin again. This is very important. I'll click on close. Then let's see. Okay, so here I'll just create a 2D scene. Okay, what I'll do is I'll go to project settings, project settings. I'll search for window. I want to make the app portrait because the camera which I will display is portrait. Most of the cameras which you see in mobile phone are in portrait mode. 480 by 1200 is fine, and orientation I'll keep it as portrait. I'll click on close, click save. So this scene is also saved. Also quickly run this so that this is your starting scene, otherwise you might face issues later on that when you export it is not able to find your starting scene. I'll add one button. So on click of this button we will call our plugin which will open the camera. Okay, so I think take photo, and here I will add one texture rect to display the image. Okay, just add it below, and here inside here I'll ignore the size. I'll click on save. I will attach one script to this, and for button I will attach one click listener as well, press listener. Now again I will go to my practice project to copy some code. So this one. Okay, so first I have to make reference for our texture rect, so that I will do that first. Then we have to just make this arithmetic equal to null. Okay, then I'll just copy paste this code inside our ready, and here instead of arithmetic I have to write take photo. Rename it over here, over here, over here, and over here. This T should be capital, right? And over here as well. So this is our signal. Then for the signal we have to create a corresponding method, which I will create over here. Okay, don't write this print statement, otherwise you will not get the output. And here on button click I just have to call arithmetic.takePhoto. Inside, in our case it would be takePhoto.capturePhoto, right? So this would be takePhoto.capturePhoto. Okay, let me quickly check if the P is capital of capture photo or not. I will go to my, sorry, this is my plugin, right? Plugin, take photo. I can open the second view controller, that's fine. Oh, not second view controller, I have to open the takephoto.mm file, right? Where is it? Yeah, capture photo. So yeah, this seems fine to me. Now I will enter my app store team ID and project export. I will enter my app store team ID, and once I have entered that, this export project should be enabled for me. So while exporting, what I'll do is that I'll create another folder outside the plugin folder called my iOS, because it generates a complete Xcode project for us. I don't want any confusion. I've entered my app store team ID, then I'll just click on export project. I'll go back my iOS and I'll just export it over here. Now again the exporting will take little bit of time, so be patient. So as you can see, my export was successful. Ignore these warnings for now. I will just go to my iOS folder and double click on this .xcode proj file. It will open in Xcode. Let's wait for it to open it in Xcode. You open your project, just click on your project and go to sign in and capabilities, and here inside team, if you see this none, you will have to select your own team. Now make sure you select the same team for which you have entered the app store team ID, otherwise this will not work. Also I am testing on a real device, that's why team ID is required, given that this camera thing won't work on a simulator. So I'll quickly select my team and come back. Also one more thing, even after selecting your team, if you are seeing some kind of an error, just uncheck this checkbox, select your team again, check this checkbox again, and hopefully this issue will be resolved for you. Then what I have done is that I have went to the info tab, and here you can see that it has already added the camera usage description permission for me. Like I didn't add this manually, but you will have to specify some here you have to specify some string why you need the camera permission. So make sure you add something appropriate. I will just add it as need to take photos. Okay, okay, I don't know what that was. So this was already added for me, but again do check, maybe in future versions of Godot while exporting this might get removed. Also one more thing, it has also added this photo library usage description permission for me. Again, if you don't see this, you will have to add this as well. Again we have to specify some need to save photos. Now I can just quickly run my app and I will show you the output. Okay, so I'll just quickly run my app again, and this is my simulator this is my real device output. Given that this is in debug mode, it will take a little bit of time for the app to pop up. Okay, so here is our app. I will click on the take photo button. It asks me for my camera permission, and here you can see the camera feed. I will click on the button which is at the bottom center. So here for saving, it is asking me permission for my photos app. I will click on allow full access, and here you can see in the output it has shown the image of the captured photo. Yeah, let's try one more. So yeah, as you can see, it is working fine. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.